All right. Hi. Welcome to another episode, 2022, with me, Gloria Bailey Ray, and my awesome friend who is moderating this show today, Miss Wanda. I want to welcome you all and thank you so much for tuning in. Miss Wanda is going to take us through, and look, I'm nervous, you guys, because she may ask me some things that I'm like, oh Lord, should I even talk about it? But I want to welcome you guys all to 2021, a year in review. A lot of things happened, but we kept moving. We kept moving. So I'm kicking it over to the hostess with the mostest, Miss Wanda. So take it away, Miss Wanda. It's all yours.
All right. Thank you so much. Hey, you didn't get the memo, family. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Miss Wanda, as Gloria said. I am the host of a show called Full Circle, and I'm so glad that I have been asked to moderate today's show, the 2021 Year in Review. Look back at You Didn't Get the Memo. Such an amazing show. And I know there's a lot of people that are followers of the show now, and hopefully we have some new folks. We're going to spend some time digging into not just the shows, but to the host, right? Because a lot of times those of us that host shows or podcasts or whatever, we don't really aren't used to, and you heard Lady G say she's nervous. We're not used to having the spotlight on us. So we're going to shine the spotlight on Lady G, but in a loving way, a way where we learn about the show and how it got started and what are some of her dreams and goals for the year ahead. So, Lady G, we are going to go ahead and get started with our first line of questioning.
Okay, I think I'm ready. I think I'm
All
ready.
right. All right. You're in good hands. You'll be fine.
Okay.
So I know that you have a lot of followers. Can you tell if there's anybody new out there? Can you give us some information? Tell someone new that's watching about a little bit about your background and how you even got started. You didn't get the memo.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'll try to give you Reader's Digest version because my background is one. I'm a Southern woman, so I started out in college, finished with an RN degree, and I have a bachelor's degree, and then went on to get a master's in public administration. And it's really interesting. At the height of a certain age of maturity, I started being downsized. And a lot of times people will take that and say, oh, well, it's me, lick my wounds, and what am I going to do? Well, how I got into this was actually, I just right now want to pay homage to Mr. Charles Williams, may he rest in heaven. And this gentleman saw me speaking and had his people contact me to be I guess you could say a co-host on his radio, which was an internet radio show. And I agreed to do that. And after a period of time, I just decided I needed to learn more. I wanted to go out on my own. And I did that. And as a result of that, I started taking classes around media, figuring out different things. And here's the interesting thing, I found out I really loved it. I love talking to people, I love being able to engage people. Long story short, here I am. This is 8 years now in the making, and I have been doing this. But I just felt that it was really, really important to be able to do something different. You know, everybody likes kind of all the craziness, but in the realm of reality and what's happening in our world, and especially our world of people of color, I wanted to be able to highlight all the positive things that Black people are out there doing, or my BIPOC people are doing, and not to take away from my other colleagues. However, you know, one of the things I just felt that people of color don't get the recognition and the acknowledgement of what it is that they're doing. And so it just kind of I came full circle,
Hmm.
so to speak, with that, and as a result, I you didn't get the memo. Actually, is born from a book that I wrote called "You Didn't Get the Memo: Navigating Corporate America," and I just realized how many people out there didn't get the memo about stuff. How many people don't know a lot of the things that I've had to come to learn and figure out. And so I've just persevered in this particular genre and just said, I love what I do. I'm happy. It makes me happy. And as they say, perseverance will walk you into your purpose. And I've continued to persevere. So,
Yeah,
mhm,
yeah. Wow, you have such a rich history of this wasn't even the goal that you started out. It just kind of morphed, and that's like you said, sometimes we fall into something and fall
right,
in love with it, and then next thing you know, you had this show for 8 years, which kind of took off from your book of the same name. You didn't get the memo. So you've been doing the show for 8 years now.
mhm.
How has the last 24 months, right? The last 2 years of this pandemic, how has that affected the way you approach the show and the way what changes have you had to make because we are now in a pandemic or have been in a pandemic for quite some time?
Right. Well, starting out, I was actually in a TV studio, and that was great. But it's really interesting. I really do believe this. God doesn't close one door without opening another door, or a window. And I know a lot of people felt like the pandemic was the end. It was just the end of everything. And I took a different approach to it. My attitude was, okay, what is it that I can do and how can I do it? Well, let me just say, as a result of the pandemic, it forced me to bring my operations in-house in an office. And at the same time, it also forced me to learn a lot of other things. Example, I had a full crew. I had, three cameras. I had someone on the teleprompter. I had someone, that was taking photos, all those things. Well, all of that ceased to exist with the pandemic. But I was just so determined to persevere and say, what else can I do? And as a result of this, I know a lot of people have converted to Zoom, and that's great. And I like that platform. And I actually started out trying to do interviews via Zoom, but I found this platform, StreamYard, which I love because it's interactive. People can comment, my guests can comment, and I really like that. And how did it change? It changed me in a number of ways. Financially, it was of a benefit for me because I wasn't spending $30,000-$40,000 a
Mhm.
year. Number two, it allowed me to develop an audience that went from the Bay Area. It started going nationally, and from there it continued to move on, and so now international. So that was the beauty of being able to change and go from there.
Yeah, that's awesome how, that we do have a wider reach now because
Right.
of the transition that we've all had to make in some
hmm
form or another to a more digital
Yeah.
platform. And so, congratulations that your audience has exploded in this way. I want
Thank.
to kind of give people a little behind the scenes peek because if you are not a person that produces a show, whether it be a podcast, Facebook
Mm,
Live, or whatever, there are a lot of moving parts to getting a show up to broadcast, right? Whether that's booking your guests, it's doing your own marketing and all that. How have you had to handle? You said you mentioned that you brought your things, your all of the inner workings in house, which means that now you're responsible for a lot of the different things. And in that time, you've had some personal struggles as
yeah.
well. Talk about how you got through that time.
God, faith,
Yeah.
prayer. Um, I get emotional thinking about it. And within actually less than 2 years, I had two major surgeries. And it's really interesting because I'm blessed. People say, "Well, you don't look sick." I don't know how that's supposed to look,
Hmm.
but I know that God has put a purpose in my heart, and I was determined to fulfill that purpose, and I kept going. Notwithstanding, of course, I'm like, who gets to be my agent? And you develop all of these other things, autoimmune, and it's something different. But I just want to say to the people who are looking, you can't stop. Don't stop. Don't give up. Just keep believing. Know that what God has for you is for you. And I just believe that. And once I got past, oh, there's only one person watching or two-person, you know what? It's not that. It's what He has purposed in your heart for you to be able to do, and for me to be able to do that. And I just persevere. And I got to give a shout out to my husband, who has been such a major, 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 major support between him and my son. My bonus daughters, my family have just kind of kept me going. But those are the things behind the scene that people don't know. And I will tell you, it's a lot of work when you're doing 52 shows. That's one show every week. 52 weeks, 52 different people. It's a lot of work. And I just really hope people can appreciate the love that I have for trying to bring information to our community and to my viewers.
We definitely appreciate it. You've had some amazing shows on. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But before we do, there's one more thing I have to make point out. That is this signature fedora that you got going on. How did you come up with this signature look? Because I'm a fan of the show, and I watched the show, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, she's rocking a hat, 1 week. Then, okay, she's rocking another hat. Now it's become your signature look. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I had a photo shoot back in 2019, and some of the older pictures you'll see me holding, it was actually at the time my husband's black fedora, and I just thought, I just want to wear a hat, right? And then I had people who started like buying me hats. I have cousins who are like, "Oh, you look good. Oh yeah, that's the look. That's your signature." And it's really stuck. In fact, I had to say to one of my bonus daughters the other night, she was like, "I know those got to be dad's hat." I'm like, "Girl, your daddy ain't wearing no orange fedora." But at the same time, it's just it's just stuck, and I love it. I totally love it. So that's the main thing. So yeah.
Yeah, well, the look certainly looks good on you.
Yeah. And I see, Miss Wanda, we have somebody who's popped in.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to have them come on, Miss Georgia, and talk, or how do you want
Yeah.
to manage that?
Let's go ahead and invite Miss Georgia on, and we'll dig into the year in review. So we'll go ahead and have Miss Georgia on.
Okay, all right, here we go then. Oh wow.
Hey,
Hi, Miss Georgia.
hey there.
Hi, Miss Georgia.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm Miss Wanda. I'm moderating the show today, and so I understand that you are a fan of You Didn't Get the Memo,
Absolutely.
and
I'm
I
t-
just want to hear how the show has impacted you.
well, Gloria and I met a few years ago, and she's a pretty dynamic woman, and a dynamic woman, and recognizes another dynamic woman, and that we're givers and we like sharing. That's not always the norm in our community sometimes. So when you do find someone that you can get on the same page, who gets you, who understands, we just clicked. And so whatever she's doing, she lets me know, and vice versa. And we try to be supportive. So, that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. And so tell me a little bit about, do you have a favorite episode or episodes that you want to mention real quick?
Well, my favorite was when me and my partner were on. That was my favorite because, you assume I'm in real estate. I'm a real estate broker of over 37 years. And I'm always surprised at what we assume people know that they don't know. And one of Gloria's lines is, our people perish, from scripture because of lack of knowledge.
Right.
So I know that her heart is in wanting to provide information so that we don't perish. And as I said, we just assume people know more than they know at times. And you feel like you're being redundant because I do this all the time. But when we're reaching an audience and you get feedback that says, oh, thanks for that information, or they want to follow up on something that you have shown them that they didn't know. So I would say all of her episodes are impactful. And the one that we share in common that I really like is when she introduced Total Infusion to the community. Mm-hmm. And that's the husband of the presenter, Key. It was a past client of mine. So I was, just really proud that and watched her build that business, and then understanding that the community didn't know about it. The majority of our community that she's sitting in the middle of didn't know about it. So it was one of those topics that we embraced and said on a platform that I had that we would have her come in at some point. And, and then Gloria met her and invited her onto her show. And subsequently, she's been on other media platforms. So that gives information that ordinarily people wouldn't have. So I'm not able to tune in on Tuesdays as often as I'd like because of my schedule. And she asked, could I come in for this window? And absolutely, if I can do it, I do. Yeah. And I think this is important. I think her work is important. It's her ministry. It's her gift. And I heard her say, whether it's one or two people, that's all you need to reach is impact one person's life at a time.
Absolutely.
So it's not about the numbers.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Miss Georgia, for popping in and giving your insight. You're absolutely right. It's not about the numbers. It's about reach one, and that person will reach one, and so on and so forth. Thank you again for joining us on You Didn't Get the Memo. Thank you so much.
All right. Nice to meet you, Miss Wanda.
Nice to meet you also. We are going to go to a commercial break. And when we go out to the break, we have got more love for You Didn't Get the Memo. Keep it right here, family. We'll be right back. All right, we have another testimonial video. While we're getting that ready, I want to remind you that you can always watch the replay of You Didn't Get the Memo on YouTube. Go to YouTube, do like I do, and search for Gloria Bailey Ray, and you will get all of the past episodes. You'll be able to tune in and watch at your leisure.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I guess you've got a video we want to cue up from one of the viewers.
By Gloria Bailey Ray. This is a show that educates, entertains, informs, and inspires its viewers. When Gloria told me about her show 4 or 5 years ago, I started watching. And I must tell you, I haven't been disappointed, not once. Every time I tune into this show, I learn something new. I get something that I didn't have before. Gloria have guests like doctors, lawyers, pastors, financial advisors, entertainers, you name it. And every show gives you more information than you had before you started watching the show. I recommend this show to everyone and anyone within the sound of my voice. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors to tune in to watch the show because you will not regret it. I have learned stuff about nutrition. I've learned stuff about finances. I've learned stuff about now the new thing with the Bitcoins. I've learned stuff about that. I've learned stuff about housing. And like I said, you just name it. So every time I tune in, I have my mind set to what am I going to take away this time? Because I know I'm going to take away something. So for all you viewers out there, I just ask that you tune in, give it a try. Bye.
Oh,
I love that. I love the love that the show is getting. If you're just now joining us, you're watching You Didn't Get the Memo. Our host is Gloria Bailey Ray, but I am moderating today. My name is Miss Wanda, host of a show called Miss Wanda's Full Circle Radio and Podcast. And we are doing a year in review, 2021 year in review of You Didn't Get the Memo. You saw all the love we got there. I want to go ahead and talk about the show and some of your favorite episodes. Before we go there, though,
mhm.
you had an episode that unfortunately is really timely. And what I mean by that is you just did a show on suicide prevention and mental health with Dr. Artis Martin. And unfortunately, it comes on the heels of one of our favorite Black actresses, Regina King, losing her son to suicide. What makes you think that, or why do you think that it's so important for our community to continue having the conversation about mental health, but specifically about suicide prevention and awareness?
Yeah. Miss Wanda, there can't be enough talk about mental health. There has been a stigma for far too long within the Black community where you may feel a certain way, you're not quite sure what's going on, but I'm not going to see no shrink. And I just want that message to resonate with everyone, is that there is no shame in your game for you getting help. Things happen. Your body becomes imbalanced, stress. There are a myriad of things, but I just felt that Dr. Martin, she did an awesome job with talking about mental health, talking about the stigma, talking about what is happening, and especially what's happening in our youth, our young people. Regina King's son was 26, I think, 25,
Yes.
26.
Mm-hmm.
But younger and younger Black kids, you're talking 6, 7, 8 years of age, are taking their own lives. That should be so disconcerting, be so concerning to people to say, wait a minute, what is happening? These kids have no idea what's even in front of them for them to really enjoy life. And I just feel that it's important. I've had a number of psychiatrists and psychologists on and kind of talking about mental health. Dr. Artis Martin just got real. She just got deep and she brought it. And that's the message that we have to get out there. And I see it. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, there's got to be someone in every family somewhere that you can say, oh, they're a little strange, they're a little off, they're a little. Look, we need to start having those conversations. We need to be talking to people. We need to bring to the forefront and to make, the medical community recognize we need help. Our people need help, and it just tears my heart up every time I hear someone taking their lives, because of course there's so many unanswered questions. Why? What happened? What could I've done differently? And there's so much guilt around it probably as well. So I just felt that having her on was just such an awesome thing for us to talk about, and she has agreed to come back. But we can't talk enough and have enough dialogue around having mental health issues that need to be looked at and treated and taken care of, and not just tell somebody to take something over the counter. I mean, this is real. Mental health is
Absolutely.
real. Mhm.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love about You Didn't Get the Memo is that your topics are always seem so relevant and timely. Tell us about some of your favorite shows throughout 2021.
Oh, wow.
We have time.
Wow, that's so hard. All of them were my favorite shows. So I want to say that. But I think the shows that probably stood out more for me was dealing with certain things that are happening in the community. For instance, bariatric surgery. There were over 1,000 people online. That was just on Facebook.
That was a good
1,000
episode,
people
by the way.
on, and the thing is, I just want to say to people, look, we got to get past the stigma. People say, oh, you take the easy way out. Look, if bariatric surgery is the way to go, I'm all for it. Kudos to you. But that just opened my eyes to weight management. Weight is a huge issue, right? And of course, with the pandemic, it just was even exacerbated even more so because people at home, and what are they doing? Going to the refrigerator and back to the couch or their chair. I think another one for me, being newly diagnosed within the past couple of years with an autoimmune disease, that was really, really impactful. And people had a lot of questions. And so I know that people kind of know, they hear about lupus and they hear about MS, but there are a lot of autoimmune diseases that are out there and people aren't even aware. And when people say, what do you have? And I tell them, they're like, never heard of that. Well, it's because it's not talked about. So I wanted to highlight and bring that to the forefront. And then, of course, as I said, the mental health piece, and then just the information about monoclonal antibodies. You heard Ms. Georgia say the fact that people didn't even know that there's a treatment. You test positive, and what do I do, right? And so it's another alternative that's out there, and again, educating and making our people aware. So I would say all of them were great, but those probably more because personally what was happening with me at the time, it made me, because of course I was about the weight gain, the medication makes you gain weight. So I'm like, all right, I wonder if bariatric surgery would help that. But the reality of it is that there are other people who really have other issues, and sometimes we need to look at what measures can be taken to help me to come off the high blood pressure medicine, to come off, the heart medicines, to come off of, just various things that they're on. So I answered it, but because I love them all. And each guest is totally different. I had one guest at all that was the same. So thank you.
That's good. Yeah. You do have a lot of variety of topics, which was really nice because you cover so many different things. A couple of the ones that are favorites of mine is being an entrepreneur. You do talk a lot and have guests on that talk about being an entrepreneur and walking that path, which is something that a lot of us out here, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people have become entrepreneurs. And so I do enjoy when you have those shows on where you're helping us. For instance, you had Maisha Jefferson on how to build a 6-figure brand while working your 9 to 5. And that was really good because a lot of us are still trying to pivot and juggle the love for, something other than our 9 to 5. So that was a really good episode. And family, I want to remind you again, if you missed any episode, you can go to YouTube, search for Gloria Bailey Ray, and you can watch You Didn't Get the Memo episodes, and you can go back and listen to those as well. So don't think that you've missed it. You can always go back and catch the past episodes. But that was one of the episodes that I really drawn to, or a lot of the episodes that you have when you're talking to us as in the entrepreneurial space. Mm-hmm. But one of the other things that I noticed the pattern of your shows too is that you're really about community, family, kind of that generational, like you had a show, for instance, disrupting generational poverty. You talk a lot about that generational and community building within the family. Mm-hmm. Why is that so important to you?
Yeah, you know what? A lot of us have carried over from generation to generation to generation, things that we've learned from our parents, our grandparents, and as they say, that dog don't hunt no more. It doesn't work anymore. And I think enlightening my audience onto things that they need to know about finances. And here's the thing, it's one of those, I grew up where my parents didn't talk about saving. They didn't talk about, I didn't even know how they did it other than, layaway. But what does that really and truly mean? And so as a result of that, I just feel that it's really, really important that we start to teach our kids younger and younger and younger about savings, about the finance of, those key things, building credit, things that aren't really talked about until they get out into, quote, the real world, and they figure out, I need to know about this, right? And they are unaware. So again, the show is about bringing awareness, education, definitely being educational. And it's interesting. I see that Mr. Tahimba Jelani, who was on the show, has just popped into the room. And one of the things that his show was about is all about, the financial piece. And I love that show because, look, anytime your kids call you, my 45-year-old son called me and said, Mom, that was a great show. I was like, well, shut the front door. So, and he and his 13-year-old, 14-year-old, my grandson, they were watching the show, and he said there were things that he was able to glean off of that. So I don't know if you want to allow Mr. Jelani to come in at this point.
Absolutely.
Talking about that.
Yes.
So I say, welcome into the room. You're muted.
How are you? How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored.
Great. So you let me crash the party. I feel like
absolutely. Absolutely. You are an invited guest.
Okay. I don't feel so bad now.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about your experience. So you were a guest on You Didn't Get the Memo. Tell us a little bit about your experience as a guest on the show.
Fantastic. I period, full stop. Gloria was really an excellent host. The quality of the product, very nice. It was just a really great experience. And I recommended a few of my friends to contact Gloria as well, because they have businesses. And I think it's an excellent platform, to have an opportunity to just have a discussion about what you do. So I appreciate her being here. Thank you, Gloria.
Yeah. She is amazing. And really, like we were just talking, that she has a plethora of different topics, which I absolutely love. Tell us a little bit about the show that you were on.
So my focus, I'm Tahimba Jelani from Tahimba and Associates. And my focus is financial education, primarily for high school students and college students. So we talked about finances, the conversations around finances for young people. And I think we feel like we covered everything from sneakers to hats, which was a great thing. And, what I have going on, actually, there's a session that I'm conducting on Saturday. A friend of mine reached out to me and wanted to have a session for her friends and family and their children to talk about these topics. Because they thought they were, valuable concepts to go from, revenues, expenses, banking, credit, investment. So we really are covering the gamut. And I think what we'll do a little differently for this session is really bring the parents in to help them be a part of the process. Oftentimes we're talking to young people, and giving them good ideas, but the part that's missing is stimulating the conversation between the parents and the students. So what the parents don't know is they will be held accountable on Saturday, for doing some things differently to ensure that they are mirroring the behavior that they want their students to partake in. For example, I'll ask the students, what are your monthly expenses? Well, for them, maybe they're thinking about a car and the gas that it costs to, drive from place to place, but they didn't actually purchase the car. They're not actually purchasing the insurance. Those are responsibilities that are falling with the parents. Well, the parents need to tell them, no, this is how much you are paying for, the luxury of driving. However, the real cost is this. And we'll go through that exercise, a few examples to help the young people understand how much does it really cost to live? What should I be shooting for? We often say that, new young people don't know the value of a dollar. Well, how will they know if we don't tell them? Right. So that's my focus. So I'm happy to be doing a session on Saturday.
I love that too, Tyamba, that this audience that you reach has a connection to you didn't get the memo, in that either their parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, or even they're sitting down with their parents to watch the show. And I'm loving what you're doing, because that population, our youth, our young adults, really do need to get a handle on money. And I just want to give you kudos, because you're doing some amazing work out there. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here and just sharing your experience on You Didn't Get the Memo. And we just appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to come in and, again, crash the party without really crashing the party.
Thank you so much. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and we'll come back with more You Didn't Get the Memo right after this.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
And we're back. Thank you so much for tuning into this very special episode of You Didn't Get the Memo. No, I am not Gloria Bailey Ray. My name is Miss Wanda. I'm a host of a show called Full Circle. It is a radio show broadcast here in Sacramento. It's also a podcast that you can find on your favorite podcast platform if you look for Miss Wanda's Full Circle Radio. And I'm so honored that Lady G, Gloria Bailey Ray, asked me to help her talk about You Didn't Get the Memo 2021 year in review. So many good conversations, so much good content, family. Don't forget, if you've missed any episode, you can always go to YouTube, search for Gloria Bailey Ray, and you can find episodes of You Didn't Get the Memo. But while you're there, you'll also see something else. I want to bring the authentic coach back in so that we can talk about what else they'll find on your YouTube page, because you're not just a one show wonder. You have another show that I absolutely love. Like, I love both of those, but Real Talk with Lady G on Thursdays at 6 p.m. family. If you haven't heard it, go download the Spreaker app now, today, Tuesday, so you're ready for Thursday at 6 p.m. because Lady G lays it all out for us.
Yeah, Real Talk with Lady G is a podcast where I say it's dealing with adult issues. It's adult conversation, and it's not crazy. And what I mean by that, there's not any cursing, swearing, but just coming from a vantage point of sometimes it's spiritual, sometimes it's just educational. But the thing is, I love it because the audience is live chatting, and they're like, yeah, that's right on. Yeah, it's just dealing with all kind of topics from, for instance, when I did one podcast about owning your mess, people show up, you just got to own your stuff, right? And it's real. Sometimes we really need to hear that just because people are in your corner, they're not in your corner, right? There are people who are just paying to be on the sidelines to see what you're going to do. So, Real Talk with Lady G is just another extension of what it is that, again, I just want to say to all the viewers what you can do, y'all. No excuse when I hear people say, oh, I don't have that talent. You know what? God gave us all gifts. I keep coming back to God, but he gave us all gifts. And are you doing it because you want to impress other people, or are you doing it because you've been led to do it and you're really good at it? And if there is a passion there, that's the difference. And my passion is is talking. My passion is sharing and educating and speaking to people. And that kind of goes along with the piece of me being a certified life coach. A lot of people want to pay thousands of dollars to coaches and not get anything. And I'm really good at what I do. But it's because I've had life experience. It's because I genuinely care. I don't want your money. I want to be able to see results and to help you. And that's, that's the difference. So as a result, Real Talk with Lady G is alive and well. We did pare it down from an hour to 30 minutes because, like I said, with the show, 52 guests, and just there's so much preparation that goes into it. It makes a lot of difference. But I still, every time I say I'm going to quit doing Real Talk with Lady G, people come back saying, no, you can't stop not doing it. What do you mean? So, and not everyone is on Facebook, YouTube. And by the way, for those of you who are on LinkedIn, you cannot comment. I can see comments from, and Miss Wanda, we got a lot of comments, even from somebody in Turkey, my cousin. I'm just honored. But it's 10 hours. They're 10 hours ahead of us, by the way, back there. But I just think that those who are with Real Talk, they with Real Talk, and those who are with You Didn't Get the Memo, and some of you, like yourself, you're with both of them. So that's what it's about. But I just want to encourage all of you, find your niche, find out what it is that you want to do, and to do it very, very well. If you pray and you ask God, He'll lead you and He'll guide you to what it is you're supposed to do. And speaking of that, somebody who's been led to do what they need to do, I see Mr. Russell done popped in here as well. And all I can say is I'm gonna kick it back to you, Miss Wanda, because Mr. Russell's out of the ATL, out of Atlanta.
All right, come on, Mr. Russell, come on in the room.
How you doing? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I have been down here in the ATL Atlanta with some light where you guys can see me.
You're perfect right there.
Yeah, I'm actually at an event tonight. Gloria, I tell you this, I just won a contract with Microsoft. So I'm the supplier for Microsoft campus down here in the ATL and Morehouse College.
Okay.
So I'm at a little gathering tonight, thanking them for giving me those 2 contracts. So
congratulations.
It's on and popping.
Look, we go back when I had a networking organization, Bay Area Networking Consortium, and Russell was doing coffee then. I can't even tell you, Russell, I don't even know how many years ago that's been. And you've stuck with it, and now here you are telling us this is awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You take the time out to come out and speak. Thank you, Russell. I'm honored. I'm touched. I'm very touched.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I want to come out. Gloria, you mean the world to me. So when you say you need something done, I'm right there in the forefront. You helped me when I ain't have nothing. So I can only return the favor from way back when. So this woman is timeless in my life. So hey, what you need, I got it. You got it.
Thank you.
The love.
Maybe start crying, Russell.
Yes. But thank y'all. I got to run back in this event, but I want to come out and show the love and show what kind of person you got on this show, because Gloria is everything. And if you didn't get the memo, you don't get it now.
Thank you, Russell. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
Bye-bye. You are loved all over the world, Lady G. That is so awesome to have someone just pour that love into you. And it's a result of you pouring your love, not only out to the world as a person, but also through your show, You Didn't Get the Memo. I'm going to give you a moment to get your composure. Why don't we show the other testimonial video that we have?
Yes. All right, here we go.
To give you a few words about Gloria Bailey Ray. And Gloria has been a friend of mine for years, and also she's been a media partner in a sense where we've worked together. I remember when I was the board president at Berkeley Community Media, and she was a member and producer. She's helped me in understanding how to better the studio itself. Also, I noticed that her guest that she had was very informative. She was about helping the community. And Gloria continues to do that to this day. I still listen to her live broadcast, and if I can't catch the live, I'm able to get the recorded version of it. And I always participate when I do listen. And she has been so helpful to the community, not only to myself, I do benefit, but the community itself. I mean, you didn't get the memo? That's the question. But I want to say congratulations to you, Gloria, and thank you so much for all that you do, not only for me, but for everyone around. I mean, now you're around the world. People are able to hear and listen and appreciate all the good information and advice that your guest has given us. So I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to let you go now. Enjoy the rest of your broadcast and hope to see you soon. Take care now. Bye.
Oh, wow.
More love for you didn't get the memo. That's amazing. I understand we have some comments in the chat.
Let's see. Yeah, we have one. Was now looking back, do you wish you would have started this earlier? I'm glad that you decided to do this. Well, Mr. Allen, I would say, yeah, looking back, again, that's why it's so important that I do what I do, and hopefully other people will move on. And the thing is, it was the right time for me at the time that I did start. I look at it like this: I probably would not have been able to handle and to be focused, but it was the right time. And I have to say, Miss Wanda has been an integral part of all of that. I've been on her show, and that just encouraged me even more. And again, just focusing on doing something that's a benefit to other people, and it's just kind of continued to morph. I want to give a shout out. I see some people from my hometown in Arkansas. You guys are there, and I want to say thank you so much to my cousin who's from Alanya, Turkey, is on and tuned in, and how much I appreciate you guys. Miss Carolyn, I mean, there are some people who are just, I mean, they give a different name to Die Hard, right? They are just there. Felicia from the ATL, thank you so much for being here. So Sally, thank you, and I love you too. So that's the real deal. But I think it's important that people know what it is that I do, and that other, it's one of those, you tell somebody who tells somebody who tells somebody, because we can look at all the craziness all day long, but what I want to bring to our viewers is something that they can take that's concrete, and they can blend it into their lives and say, yeah, you know what, I can relate to that. That resonates with me. That's really important. So that's why I do what I do.
I love it. Are there any more comments in the chat? Since I can't see it.
Oh, let's see. Let's see. There's just the comments about, let's see, Miss Georgia was on, and she says all the shows that I saw were relevant. It's important to talk about things that people don't like to talk about.
Absolutely.
Very, very true. And I love this, Miss Carolyn. This is a launching pad for the new season. And we got 2022. I'm bringing it to y'all. Next month is Black History Month. And I want to say to you guys, for those of y'all, people kind of hear a little bit about the Little Rock Nine. Look, I was able to secure the president of the National Dunbar Horaceman Alumni Association. Okay. And we're going to tell you about those schools, and we're going to talk about what life was like when you were in being taught by all Black teachers, right? And the people who attended those schools have done so very, very well. So we just have, this is from Alanya, Turkey. And then we have, I know that this is a classmate of mine, Miss Flo, also from Atlanta. And those are pretty much, the things. I got a lot of amen. So I guess when I was preaching, when I
I
was
love
preaching,
it.
people were like, amen, amen, amen.
I
So
love it. Give
thank
us a little bit more. You gave us a little bit of a sneak peek of what we can look forward to in February. But what do you see in 2022 for You Didn't Get the Memo?
Yeah, you know what? If you didn't get the memo, one of the things that I hope to continue to bring, for instance, I really hope people can appreciate a lot of the heavy hitters that are going to be on the show. Although I like live, but for instance, when I'm able to get the head of surgery or the head of the breast cancer center to come on, these people are very, very busy and they're doing this and they're not getting paid for doing it. So I'm so gracious and respectful of their time. But guys, this is the kind of information that we want to know. Where do you need to go if you have this, if you see this? So we're continue to bring more of that. It is my hope and goal that I will be able to continue to increase sponsors, because I want to say to those of you who are watching and you're sitting on the fence, look, you got 52 times that we're showing your logo at the end of every show. And also, if people go to the website that's been flashed up there, you guys are able to go to the You Didn't Get the Memo website, and you can look at all of the different sponsors. So I really want to encourage you. This just doesn't happen. But again, like I said, I've got a great partner who supports what I do and has never questioned, why are you doing that? But just ensures that I have what I need. So more of what last year was, even more so. I am hoping to also kind of go on more location, and still, of course, still remaining COVID safe. I'm boosted, vax, you guys, and there are just certain things that to really capture what's going on, you probably have to be on location. So that's the goal as it starts to get a little warmer, and so just doing more of the same. But I'm always open if you have someone that or topic that you'd like to have me address. Hey, be sure and you can send it to me. You didn't get the memo at gmail.com. I do read my emails and I do respond. So make sure, that you let me know what it is. So there could be something that I could be missing. But the bottom line is I try to cater to what's going on in our community and around us, and to bring that information back to each of you that are watching. Mhm.
Yeah. So, family, make sure that if you enjoy the show, that you realize there are a number of ways to support. You can either sponsor the show, you can send just donations because you love watching the show every week. You can
Yeah.
also share the show with friends and family. That's another way to support the show as well. So, we just want to, if you want to continue getting this good content every Tuesday from 5 to 6, and supporting the show, some really, really good topics that are being discussed. And I'm looking forward to what you have in store for us for 2022. Family, if you want to support, then make sure that you go to youdidn'tgetthememo.com. And don't forget, it's a you didn't get the memo, not YOU, but it's the letter U, didn'tgetthememo.com, or you can email at youdidn'tgetthememo@gmail.com and show your support for the show.
Yeah. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Miss Wanda, what can I say? You have just been awesome. I love you.
I
And
love you
I would
back.
say that publicly. One of the things I always say, why don't people tell people when they're dead that they love them, right?
Right.
I want to show my love to all of you right now. And again, I know that I'm blessed and highly favored. And I just want to encourage each and every one of you guys, just set aside 55 minutes of your time every Tuesday, well, Thursdays too, but every Tuesday, to watch the show. You didn't get the memo with me, Gloria Bailey Ray. Miss Wanda is on every Saturday 10 a.m. on 97.5. For those of you who are in the other area, because I know you can pick it up because I've been in Atlanta and I've actually logged on to Full Circle KDEE. So, Miss Wanda, what else do they need to know to be able to catch your show?
Yeah, so you can hear the show live. If you're not in Sacramento, you can go to KDEE-FM.org and click on the listen live button, or you can catch the podcast. So the live episodes are uploaded to podcast every Tuesday. And if you look for Miss Wanda's Full Circle Radio on your favorite podcast platform, or if you follow the show on Instagram or Facebook, I always upload the links to the latest episode. And I would appreciate your support, whether you're in Sacramento, Georgia, or in Turkey. So, come on, cousin.
Right. Oh, I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're up at like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. So I am so very grateful. But Miss Wanda, can we just do one more commercial?
Yes.
And then sponsor, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for watching the You Didn't Get the Memo Show with your inspirational host, Gloria Bailey Ray. It's your contributions that make this happen. To become a sponsor, send an email to youdidn'tgetthememo@gmail.com. That's the letter U, didn't get the memo. If you're not in a space to be a sponsor, but you like what you hear, we simply ask that you support what you like by making a contribution to the show. There are 3 ways to make an online donation. Visit paypal.me/Gloria Bailey Ray or Cash App or Venmo, Gloria Bailey Ray. Give what you can. Your support is appreciated.
All right. And Miss Wanda, I just have to share this with you. You said to Miss Jacqueline in Turkey, and she said, we'll do Miss Wanda.
You won't be sorry, Miss Jacqueline.
Yeah.
You won't be sorry.
And it's really interesting how we met and the type of shows that we have. And you have some dope people on your show on Saturday mornings from 10 to noon. And so it's one of those things, guys. I have her on my phone and have my earpods in, and I'm still able to go about and do my daily chores on Saturday. I know people are busy, but as I said, we spend the time and do things that's important to us. And so this is all about sisters supporting sisters, people supporting people. And I appreciate your support, and I appreciate Miss Wanda being here and moderating this, because it really means a lot. And so I thank you so much, Miss Wanda, for that. So, it's been real. And you guys, I thank all of you for being here. And all I can say is, at this point, if you didn't take anything away from today's show, Miss Wanda, come on, let's say it together. You didn't get the memo. All right, you guys. Yeah. So thank you, guys. Hang in there. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I hope that you learned a little bit more about me, your host, Gloria Bailey Ray, with my awesome friend, guest, moderator, Miss Wanda. Guys, I just want to tell you how much it means to me that you guys are supporting and watching, and want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, I really and truly appreciate all of you. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to let a commercial take you out, and we will see you this time next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.